Hello, welcome to Scarred Lands, A Family Affair. This is episode 4, Death Below. When last we met,
we were trying to clear out our dad's basement.
Yes, the party had decided to clean Dad's basement, and they discovered a little bit more down there than they had bargained for. Zopa and Jedryn were waiting up top because when the trapdoor was opened, Khalid was basically pinned in place by chains that emerged from the metal, which effectively act as an imprisonment spell. So, as near as you can all tell, the only way to get him free of these chains is to locate this weapon of Chardoon's that can supposedly forge or break any binding. So that's fun. You went down in the basement. You discovered that there were some secret rooms that were full of death. Just all kinds of bad things in those secret rooms. Gelatinous cubes and skeletons. Oh my. After sealing the secret room back off, you headed to the north, where you ran afoul of some flesh strippers. But you did manage to knock several of them unconscious and collect them. I believe you also ran into another gelatinous cube up that hallway. Is that...
Yeah, that happened.
Best hug I could give it.
But you did manage to clear out the immediate threats and had caught just the slightest bit of a moment to take a breath. Does that sound about accurate as to where we parked?
Yep.
Beautiful. So, what would you like to do? Now, again, Jedryn and Zopa have been up top. Your father is completely unresponsive. He does look like he is in pain, and he is breathing. It's shallow.
We had found some good shit in these boxes, so I think I was checking the boxes in this west end over where I'm at still.
Yes.
For shit, I think I have a bag full of teeth and 3 scrolls right now.
Yes, that is accurate.
I have my bow knocked and ready to shoot anything that attacks you.
Yep.
I think I threw the bag of dust that we had gathered already at these boxes, so I guess I'm rummaging through those now and ripping off the tops and seeing what's in them.
Okay.
Emptying them out so that way we can get our farm, apparently.
Okay. Go ahead and just give me an investigation check if you don't mind.
Investigation is insight or wisdom?
It's intelligence.
Oh yeah, that's that thing. That is a 12.
Excellent. So as you're looking through these items, let's see. You're seeing a lot of papers that have basically degraded to dust and mold at this point. You do notice that the functional scrolls that are there, there's a scroll that appears to be a scroll of invisibility, and you've also found a scroll that appears to be a scroll of true strike. The other thing you notice as you are looking around is sort of a dripping sound coming from this part of the hallway, of the room.
All right, so I'm going to check myself for said dripping sound, just in case there's more of those little bastard rats.
As you look yourself up and down, you don't see any wounds.
Any new wounds?
Yeah.
Yeah, any wounds that you weren't aware of, I should say.
I guess I just hear a dripping sound. I don't see anything.
Yeah, I mean, it's dark and it's a little hard to make out. It sounds... It's relatively irregular, fairly slow.
Do I recognize the sound as a previous cube encounter may have jogged my memory of this noise?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't sound like doesn't sound like the same noises that a gelatinous cube would have made while you were interacting with it.
Great. I'm just kind of freeze in place and then yell over at Millie, who's by me, and be like, I'm hearing some weird shit down the end of this hallway. Would you mind helping me check?
Okay, I'm gonna go over there quietly. Just kind of sneak.
Okay. You wanna go ahead and make a stealth check?
Yeah. Buttons. I tried.
You're not making too much noise headed over there. And go ahead and give me a investigation check as you're looking around trying to nail down the source of this sound.
I'm not good at that.
You don't know. I mean, you hear like a little bit of dripping too. It sounds like it's coming from deep in the hallway, but you don't or deep against that back wall. You don't really see anything though.
Well, based on our previous encounters of not seeing shit, but shit being there, I'm going to take one of the destroyed up boxes that doesn't have anything in it and just throw it down the hallway.
All right, you throw it down the hall. It bangs into the wall back here, and when it does, you see a patch of green slime fall from the ceiling onto the floor, kind of where it passed through.
Oh.
Like,
Oh. I guess it's still ooze.
Yeah. Hopefully an ooze that can't move quite so quickly.
Well. Is it pissed?
Shoot it.
I'm not hearing roll for initiative, so I guess it's not.
I'm pretty sure I might just shoot it out of reflex.
That's fair. You pop an arrow into it, and it, the arrow sticks in it, almost like you've shot your arrow into a Jell-O mold, and then you see it start to sink, and it occurs to you that what's happening is it's devouring the arrow, like consuming the arrow, basically. And there's a little bit of steam coming off of it, so it appears to be some sort of an acidic reaction that it's having. But the ooze itself does not move. Why don't you both go ahead and make a history check, if you don't mind, or Arcana, if that's better for you.
It's not. I guess history is. I think I have good history. Or decent enough. Or was it religion? No, it's religion. Are those both intelligence again?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's a solid 8.
Nice. Yeah,
3.
Neither one of you has any idea what the fuck that stuff is, but it's eating an arrow, so it can't be good.
Yeah, I'm just going to look at Millie and be like, I don't do acid. So we should go.
Are we hearing this from the other room?
Oh, yeah, they're not. I assume they're not whispering to one another. So.
Yeah.
Acid what? I'm gathering unconscious rats in a pile.
They're not running after us, so I'm going to you know how a cat gets super pissed after it takes a bath, but you have to go into the room it's super pissed in and get something, and you're afraid the cat's going to attack you like my cat used to? That's kind of like what I'm doing. I'm moving slowly, but still grabbing the crates that we need for the flesh eaters, right. And sliding away.
Now you do see there are 2 more crates in the room, here and here, that you've not had a chance to look at. Are you going to try to get to them?
No. I'm definitely not going to those crates near the slimes because I don't do acid.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm thinking we don't want to touch that. So
yeah.
I will knock another arrow to my bow and cast light on it. But I'm not shooting. I can't see in the dark like everyone else.
All right, so you and your flashlight arrow come back around the corner carrying the boxes that you do have. By the time you get back over here, between Aaron and Triss, you've managed to gather up the remaining flesh strippers and get them boxed. Cheshire, you were hurt pretty bad, right?
Yeah, it was a rough day.
I'm out of spells.
Yeah, I think Aaron's out of spells too.
Yeah.
So she says, I think maybe we should seal this up, head back up, and regroup.
Yep.
But there's boxes not opened.
There's also whole rooms we ain't gone into yet, but I don't think any of us is in shape to do that.
But, like, if you want to walk by the slime thing...
I do not. But do you think that... I mean, they ate your arrow. Can they eat magic?
I mean, you could find out.
Yeah, so it's kind of...
Aaron says, what's eating who now? And she walks over.
Is that an eyeball? Is it like a with an eyeball?
It does not actually have an eyeball. That's just kind of an artistic rendition of a slimy patch. No, it is in fact doesn't appear to be ambulatory under its own power. Once it blooped onto the ground, it just kind of laid there.
I didn't bloop. Okay. What was that sound that it made again, Ayli?
Do I have any idea what it is?
Spletch.
What check is it? Nature or something else?
It would be history or arcana.
Okay. Not nature. All right. 5.
Nope, no clue.
It's gross.
So far, I've had the highest roll. I just want to point that out. I have a -1 score on int, and I have the highest roll.
Well, I just rolled. That was literally rolling a 2. Quite a critical.
Yeah, you're like, I have no idea what this is, but it's not awesome.
It's gross, is what it is. I don't want anything to do with it.
So we still don't know if it'll eat magic?
No,
I say, kind of like glancing at Aaron.
She says, no, and frankly, I don't have a whole lot of spells to toss at it at the moment.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I can do something.
Oh.
One side. She steps aside. Says,
I want to watch this.
Bam! And points at it and casts Sacred Flame on it.
Oh! Cantrip. I'm staying out here with Cheshire.
And it's staring bubbles.
Let me see.
And before it explodes, I do, in fact, do acid.
Just praise everybody with a use of acid.
You take no damage, but you see really interesting shit.
Just looking up the actual...
I think that would do psychic damage, honestly.
I guess it depends. Like, if you fail your saves and you have a really bad trip, and then you're like,
it would totally be psychic damage.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. I've had one bad trip, and it...
I was going to say psychic damage that could lead to physical damage.
It was. I was convinced.
CBD that didn't agree with you.
No, it was not CBD, and I was convinced that if I wasn't paying attention to my breathing, I was going to die. Okay. I was convinced my autonomic nervous system had shut down.
As soon as she drops the Sacred Flame on it, the green slime just explodes. Yeah. Just shrivels up and goes away.
Oh!
Hey!
She says she kind of laughs, sort of a winnowy sort of laugh. Oh, it's just dungeon slime.
What's dungeon slime?
I just kind of tilt my head. What?
I'm like,
that's your first time dungeoneering?
With slime?
So sometimes you get these places, you got to watch the ceiling. Oh, there it is. And she,
there's more. Great.
She kisses her finger and drops a sacred flame on the ceiling over in this corner. And you see another patch appear, drop onto the floor, and like shrivel up into nothingness. She says, "Yeah, it's always a good idea to keep an eye peeled on the ceilings of places like this, especially if there's been a lot of, dark magic or death or."
You gonna be okay, Cheshire? Because I gotta go get a sample of this stuff.
Yeah, I'm good.
All right.
I don't think we have anything to put it in.
Right? I got little pouches and whatnot. I'm gonna get a little bit of.
It ate my arrow.
Wasn't it acid?
Yeah, it's cool.
It's very cool. I think it might eat your pouches.
Yeah.
Got a glass vial by hand.
Would glass even hold acid?
Well, I don't want the acid. I just
glass will hold. Well, depending on the acid.
Did it eat through the metal arrowhead?
Yeah.
Yeah. It like once Aaron hit it with the sacred flame, like you have like about 2 inches of shaft and the fletching of your arrow. The rest of it was disintegrated.
Yeah, it ate through metal, so I don't.
Are the remains dissolving things?
No, in fact, like basically all that's left is like a ashy film where the ooze once was.
I am collecting ashy film. You never know.
That's fair. Yeah, that's inert. It doesn't seem to be having any issue in it.
All right, and I'm going to, I guess, check the 2 crates. I'll check the one closest to me for a surprise, another slime.
Go ahead and drop that investigation check.
Oh boy. It's a box.
You pop the box open. Seems to be full of, again, papers. Nothing really makes a whole lot of sense to you. I don't suppose any of you read Charduni, right?
Yeah, I was gonna be like, there's nothing fucking useful.
I was like,
and they're just like kind of scoffed.
Yeah.
Clearly disinterested in paper. I'm gonna work my way over to the other chest.
I'm checking, actually.
Would be
a dwarven dialect, I would assume.
Oh no, I don't read any.
Yes, it is not, in fact, in Calastian. Well, let me double check. But yeah, it's a bunch of papers. It looks like, as near as you can tell, it does look like a list of maybe like purchases or invoices or things along those lines. Ledger. Yeah, maybe something like that. Yeah,
of the slaves that they kept or some shit, probably.
Yeah, it is. It is just in Dwarvish. Yeah, Charduni don't have a different dialect.
A solid 6 on the next crate.
You pop it open, same thing, same scenario. You're looking at a bunch of papers. They look like they were kind of shoved in the box with no rhyme or reason.
Like, this is important, but we don't have time to properly store it type of thing?
Could be, yeah. Quite possibly.
That's a condition.
Well, I mean, I haven't done much of anything besides almost die today. So I think, as much as I can think, I'm nominating to go and get some rest. I don't think another cube is in the cards for me today, but I will try and help and carry these 2 crates up to see if we can't find some use for them.
Carry the crates and the rats back upstairs and regroup.
I only got 2 arms. I might be strong, but I think I could only carry the 2 crates.
Yeah. No.
All right. So since Dad has been held immobilized, I have definitely taken some time to update his lack of grooming. So I've just been sitting there brushing his hair out, clipping his nails. I don't know if he's aware of this, but I'm just like, Dad, you really need to take better care of yourself. Have you even been eating right? I don't understand. What is going on? And so when you all come back up, he looks like a completely new halfling.
And what is Jedryn doing during this time?
Probably listening at the hole and going, "Is that a smash? I swear I heard a smash. Smashes aren't good, are they? We should probably."
And you all. I'm sorry. What was that?
Maybe you could rig up something that makes it easier to get in and out of that hole.
Oh, yeah. No, that's probably what I'm doing. While also saying, "Was that a smash?"
When you say, "Was that a smash?" I'm trimming Dad's hair, and I'm like, "Shh, what?" And I look over, I'm like, "Oh." And I managed to stop it from being a bald spot.
He was going to have such beautiful bangs before that.
What are you,
going in a new direction?
So I assume everyone is then good with going back upstairs?
Oh, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Now I
didn't enjoy my time down in the dungeon.
You do have no way of sealing this door, obviously, because your dad is stuck.
Yeah.
Basically in it.
Do the chains come from all sides of it?
So one came out of each corner, basically, of the opening.
So it's hard to put a piece of furniture over the hole.
Right. And it's got a very Hellraiser vibe to it.
Maybe put a blanket over it or something, but that's probably about it.
We'll have to take turns keeping watch over it.
Mm. I'll prop Dad up with some pillows, maybe. Get him as comfortable as...
Well, we still left a slime in there in the first room.
Slime?
It was locked in the
cube.
What kind of slime?
There was a big...
Not
jelly.
A good time slime.
It was good. 10 feet tall.
What? How did that even get down in there?
Yeah,
I don't know. I think it grew in there because the doors weren't that wide.
Well, now I'm worried if it can come up out of said hole.
Yeah.
So
we closed the door and it didn't have hands, so I don't think it's going to be able to get the door open.
You didn't experience the engulfment that I did, and I just kind of look over at Cheshire.
You think you can dissolve the door?
I think it can squeeze through the door because it was good at hugging.
Regardless of whether or not it can, it hasn't. It didn't chase us when we
that's true.
Closed the door and left. So either it can't leave or it's there with a purpose.
What about the skeletons?
I think it ate those.
Right, but we don't know. And what if there's more and the traps?
Then we'll kill them when they get up here.
Well, I was kind of thinking that maybe we shouldn't just put a sheet over the hole.
That's fair. I mean, I'm trying to get Dad a blanket and pillows around.
Yeah,
less uncomfortable.
I don't think anybody should leave Dad alone.
No,
absolutely not.
Absolutely not. Yeah, we definitely want somebody on watch right here.
And while I'm saying that, I poke him in his chest real hard. I'm still mad at you for lying. You know what I mean?
He doesn't seem to even respond to it. Aaron says, I have a prayer book I can go grab from the All Faith Shrine. I think I can set up a spiritual guardian at the base of the door. I think I've got one. Yeah, I'll be right back. And she kind of runs out.
Don't you have to get lunch for your new boss?
As she's running out, or when she runs out, I'd like all of you to make a perception check, please.
Also really good at
that. 20.
20. Natural 20.
Look at all the 21s.
Those, two 20.
Don't entirely suck.
Wow. I actually did well.
Huh. It's my turn to roll poorly.
Okay. Yeah, so basically everybody but Millie and Triss looks like
people with high wisdoms. Naturally good.
We're very, very focused on our flesh strippers, though.
We are very.
You hear Erin's voice shortly after she steps outside. Kind of as though she maybe is like surprised by someone's presence, but she offers kind of a stumbly greeting. And speaks with them. And you hear a couple of other voices, much quieter. Kind of like seems to be like maybe she's yelling, and the others are not. But it doesn't seem to be like an angry or
like a halloo kind of a situation.
Yeah, like
hey, how's it going?
I'm gonna like sweep in that direction.
Yeah, I'm gonna go that direction.
Take a look out the door.
2 seconds.
Cheshire, while you're walking
also, how
with
much
me, I'm
time
just like,
passed?
what the hell happened to you?
Skin is overrated.
How much time passed while we were down there?
You were probably down there for like a total of maybe 2 hours, maybe.
Oh, okay. So I have time to go get some cow and take it to my forge master. Got it.
Yeah,
task oriented.
It's a couple hour trip.
Well, it wouldn't be next day yet. So
it is. So it's not the next day yet.
So, but I will say that I do have to go grab some from the neighbors. So, I will kind of say it sheepishly though, because I heard the hullabaloo outside. So I'm like, maybe the giant Scrag shouldn't be the first out the door.
So Zopa and Cheshire, as you're looking out, you see the human priest and the Charduni monk that you ran into in the village coming up the road.
Ooh, those ones.
And the human priest shouts down, "Sister, are you troubled? You appear wounded." And Aaron's like, "Oh no, this is nothing. I just fell
strippers.
into. There were rats. Just helping the neighborhood out with some rats." "Oh, well, please, if your spells are exhausted, allow us to heal you." "Oh, that's uncharacteristically kind of you, thanks." So you're all are you like standing there at the door, like watching this awkward-ass interaction?
Yeah, I'm going to step outside just to make sure they don't try and come in.
Well, once they're outside, I will follow.
Okay.
I just didn't want to be the first at the door.
The human priest turns to you, Zopa, and says, "Is this your residence? Was this woman harmed helping you?"
It is my father's residence. He's just moving in. There was some things we didn't expect to be living here. We're just doing some cleaning out.
Aaron says, it's not a big deal. The woman says, "Well, the law does determine that you compensate this woman for her injuries with service."
Absolutely.
"Come with us, sister. Let us pray at your shrine and discuss the goings-on in your part of the village." Aaron says, "Oh, that's great. I totally wanted to do that today." And they start walking off toward the Alphace shrine.
Like, watching after them, can I do a insight
check?
Yeah.
I was going to say, are we having an old Yeller moment right now? Right? Are we never going to see this person again?
He's a horse, not a dog.
Yeah, with a 16 on insight, I mean, they seem... First of all, Aaron's a shitty liar. So like, Cheshire, like, this is all just regular. This is absolutely normal. Nothing to be concerned about.
Priest talking priest stuff. Yeah, makes sense to me. All right, go back inside.
But Zopa, Aaron's definitely not a great liar, and they are definitely suspicious, probably because of Aaron's conduct.
Gotcha.
But you would imagine that they're probably trying to isolate her to interrogate her.
I'll walk along with them.
Where
I
you
wasn't
going?
interested, so I'm just headed to the neighbors. I'm like, that looked normal.
Yeah. Are you stepping out as well, Cheshire, or no?
I think if I see Zopa leaving, I'm like, what's going on?
Oh, remember, we need to pay Erin in service for for compensation for what she's done.
Yeah, might as well do
what
that
happened
now.
to her while helping
The
us.
monk turns around and looks at you, Cheshire, and goes, "Good gods, man. What happened to you?"
I told him not to use that cleaning solution on the table.
I'm just going to think back what time when like that actually did happen, yeah.
Make a deception check there, Zopa.
Sure.
Oh.
Or.
Yes, that was definitely what happened.
Yeah.
That was how I was lit on fire.
The monk opens his mouth to speak, and the priestess puts her hand on his shoulder and says, "Of course. Do you need healing?"
I would love some healing. Unfortunately, or luckily, I don't think I need it right now. I think we're done for the day. I'm just gonna let this heal naturally. Besides, I have to.
Nonsense. She puts a hand on your face, like palms your face, basically.
Counterspell.
And so,
touchy people. God.
Are you trying to cast counterspell and push her back?
No, I will think about it.
Is it possible? Is it possible to interpose myself between them as she reaches for him?
Sure.
I'm like, no, that's all right. We don't want to gain any more. The word just left my mind. Sorry.
More
servitude.
Incur more debt.
Yeah. It is fine, really. I'm tougher than I look.
And Zopa kind of has this sneer on her face too. She's not big about their worship.
She says, "As you wish. You're not, property of ours. We don't get to dictate that you can't be foolish."
Oh, I'm so glad I went to the neighbors.
They resume their walk downward. Are you still following?
Yep.
Sure.
They stop again. Erin is behind them like... Hey, stop following me! The monk says, "Is there something I can help you with?"
Oh, no, not at all. We're just going to help Erin at the shrine.
We need some privacy for some priestly matters.
I am sure that there will be plenty of time for privacy later.
Erin says, "Really, it's fine."
I'll eye Cheshire.
I said, all right, well, then we'll be seeing you soon so we can work out this service thing.
Yes, of course.
I'll bow obnoxiously low. And then I will turn around.
They turn and head back toward the shrine.
And then I will grab Zopa and
sneak after them?
Jump over here.
Yes.
Why don't you both make stealth checks?
This should be good.
I don't have stealth.
13.
Oh,
really, really kind of wishing I didn't have the scroll of invisibility right now.
All right, so you two sneak over here. You're pretty sure undetected. I'll get back to you. Meanwhile, Korggix, you're knocking on the neighbor's door.
weren't they doing the barbecue now?
Well, that's what I was going to say. I wouldn't go to the front door because...
Oh, yeah, they're actually barbecuing.
Yeah, well, and I don't know, having been an ex-slave, that's improper of me to do. to use the front door.
Sure, yeah, I can see that.
So, and the area that I'm comfortable with is the backyard anyway, since that's where I first encountered the rats and all that shit. So that's like my comfortable zone.
Yeah, you walk back there. They've got a fire going, and they're cooking various slabs of meat. Teresa walks over to you. How are things? I heard some noise coming from your house.
I just sheepishly look down, and then I think of like what Dad would do, and I say, "Good," but like with a kind of a question mark at the end.
Okay. Would you like a plate?
Yes. I think we have some family business to take care of over the way, so I would need plates for all of us, if that's okay.
Here's the fruit.
Yeah. If you bring us like some actual plates, I will happily fix them up for you.
I suppose I should do that. And I feel like just extra dumb, which is not a feeling that's like lost on Korggix, because that's kind of a perpetual state at this point. And just kind of, okay, just go walk back to the house. I assume that we don't have a whole lot of plates, so I'm actually going to the stable to find like a big piece of wood that I can hold with two hands. So I won't go back in the house. I'm going to where I sleep to look for something to put food on for my siblings.
You start looking around. I mean, you do find like a tray that would be used like to carry out like multiple slop buckets or something like that. That you'd be able to carry back, kind of like a big, almost like a large basket that you could have them throw food in.
Slop
holds the food. That's my goal. Looks good to me.
All right. You start doing that, and as you're kind of walking back from the, I assume you go up this way and around and grab the stuff and come walking back out, and you see Cheshire and Zopa both sort of squatting behind the shrubbery, just looking over the edge of it.
They notice
badly.
They don't seem to as you're walking
out. Because they're my siblings, I want to scare them. So I'm going to try and sneak up behind them and just like yell and put both like one hand on each shoulder when I yell.
Go ahead and roll a stealth check. What are your passive perceptions?
13. 10, I think.
Stealth is used with dexterity, right?
Yes.
Well, that's a 6.
So you hear Korggix very loudly walk up behind you, like crunch, crunch, crunch. You hear the sound of him setting down the basket behind you.
Shh. Trying to listen.
Right, so
I think I might try to scare Korggix.
What would you like to do to try to scare Korggix?
I assume this is not the first time he's done this, so I'm going to try to buy him before he buys us.
So Zopa turns around and goes, "Shh, we're trying to listen." Cheshire turns around and goes, "Wah!"
And Zopa like stumbles sideways and catches herself on that. It's just like.
So my question: Did I expect that? Am I frightened now?
Make an intimidation check, Cheshire.
I'm the youngest, and I think both of my brothers are idiots.
That tracks.
You ain't wrong.
Oh my God!
Good God.
Okay, so I I didn't set down that piece of wood. Instead, it is now flying over the roof of the house. It literally almost looked like I jumped out of skin, and like one of the teeth that normally falls out from my corruption is like went up in the air a little bit higher than me and has fallen out successfully from me slapping my jaw shut so hard from being scared.
Zopa glares at Cheshire. She kind of adjusts her robe, and she's like, "I'll be back. I have to go change."
I entirely defeated. I'm now like looking for the piece of wood. So I guess I'm going.
Shouldn't you have advantage because you're twins?
You eventually find the piece of wood and go collect the food. Zopa, you get back in the house. Cheshire, are you going back in as well?
Feeling just dejected that my playful prank has ruined everything, I will walk back to the house as well.
Excellent. Now, whilst that's going on outside, what are you all doing inside, Millie, Jedryn, and Triss?
Gathering pots and pans and things to put rats in and securing them as much as possible.
Helping because these things could probably eat me to death.
Yeah, just finding anything.
I'll help Triss if you watch Dad.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Just sit down in front of Dad, look him in the eyes, and be like, I told you that this would happen.
He can't understand you.
Just staring blankly into space.
I don't care if he hears. It just needs to be said.
Couple minutes pass. Everybody walks back in. Korggix comes back in with the food.
Cool.
Cheshire comes back in.
Maybe if we keep them well fed, they won't try to wander.
I was just gonna ask if he brought any extra food for the rats.
It's a lot here.
You just look down at what I'm holding, then look back at you. And then look down back at what I'm holding.
I think there's just barely enough for Gix there, and that's probably. we need a better way to store these guys, though. This is that one cage we ordered it's not going to be enough. Ooh.
Well, hearing that and thinking of the meat, and then immediately I would think of my mentor that's making the cages, and I'm like, I found these, and I reach into my pack and I just pull out the teeth, the gold teeth that I got earlier. Mm-hmm. I was like, do you think we could make more cages? Do you think he'll take these? He took my teeth.
Those are made of gold. Yeah, I would think so. It's valuable.
I'm thinking, so they're colony animals, so we do want multiples in a single cage, but we want a female cage, a male cage, and then a mating cage.
Yeah, eventually, yeah. The moment, I think we just need to keep them from, destroying the house.
Absolutely. But if we're gonna order more cages, then
yeah. That's a great idea.
Yeah. What time is it? It's late, right?
Yeah, it's early to mid-afternoon, I suppose, by this point.
I don't think I can make it to town in time to tell him to start more.
Well, he said it wasn't even going to be ready for a couple days anyway, so...
Yeah, but we
could go tomorrow.
We could save him some time, maybe. I mean, doesn't he have to use different molds for different stuff?
I think right now the problem really is more Dad and cleaning out the basement.
And then I look over at Dad, I'm like, oh yeah. It's just totally spaced. I'm on make cage duty.
Maybe we can, is there anything in the barn that we can put these in?
I look down at the bucket again. I found back at the stable.
Maybe if we can create a lid on a water trough.
How good are they at climbing? Maybe if we dig a pit.
They're good at climbing.
And burrowing.
Yeah, that's not going to help. Yeah. We have to line the pit with metal or something.
Water troughs are generally made out of metal.
What traps?
Water troughs.
Water troughs. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, what's our horse? We have a horse.
Yeah, there's a trough, a metal trough. You just don't have anything readily available to put on top of it.
Yeah, we'd have to like.
And I'm not letting you take the horse's trough. The horse needs that for water.
I mean, the horse can drink out of like a bucket.
Yeah. My thought is we'd take.
You can drink out of a bucket. I have, by the way, totally lost track of why we're trying to get some sort of container.
The rats, for the rats! I hold up two unconscious flesh strippers and put them in his face, like, for these things!
I just go back instinctively.
There's a knock on the door.
There's a way.
Who is it? Who is it?
It's Aaron.
Okay, come on in.
Open it.
I guess.
When Zopa said whatever they just said, because I'm blanking, did I notice that they changed pants?
She does have like a robe on, so it's hard to tell what pants she was wearing. He does look more satisfied now, though.
Aaron says, "Well, I have good news and I have bad news. What would you like first?" And she kind of walks past you into the bedroom.
Well, first, are you okay?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, okay, adjacent.
What happened?
So the Charduni are like super suspicious about whatever is going on here in your house.
We had a flesh stripper invasion. We're trying to solve it.
My skin looks like flesh stripper, so like.
Yeah.
I mean,
and the neighbors did have flesh strippers.
Flesh strippers. So I think it's a fair game to say we've been dealing with a flesh stripper.
Sweetie, you don't have to convince me.
It's them.
All right.
Millie looks a little confused by this conversation because she doesn't have like a dishonest bone in her body.
It's okay, Millie. I'll teach you later.
She says they're going to be staying in the keep for a few days, just to keep an eye on things and make sure we're safe.
Yeah, sounds lovely.
Right.
I can see about maybe spreading some fake rumors about the flesh stripper thing to try to get the story to be a little bit more plausible.
Consistent.
I mean, I can. We've definitely, if we're trying to start a closet industry around face-gnawing rats, I can see why that would make people a little bit nervous. So maybe if I sort of go around and kind of, put out feelers about it and make it really clear that I'm trying to keep it hush-hush, I can probably manage some of that.
Well,
so
that's an awesome idea.
It seemed like trying to keep it.
Mm-hmm.
You lagged for everything you said, Travis.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I stopped talking because I thought Sarah was talking.
Yeah, I was saying we spread a rumor that we're trying to keep secret that we have started a flesh stripper farm, but make it so that the rumor gets spread despite the fact that we're trying to keep it secret.
Yes,
that's on you. That's totally on you.
What I was saying. Because I actually have practice with that kind of thing.
Aaron says, that's a good idea. That's cool. Not sure that it 100% solves our problem, but it's a good start. She opens up a scroll and reads off it, and you see a spirit guardian appear at the bottom of the...
It would explain why we're all injured and stuff, though. Because, we had a stripper pests in the house after we moved in, and they would nest.
So now our next concern is if they poke their head in here, they're going to know what that's all about.
Well, they'll see a bunch of flesh strippers, and they'll know.
Do they have any right to poke their head in here?
Yeah. Is it
well, I mean,
what's the law say?
Well,
they break the law once they see Dad. There's gonna be a bigger problem.
I know. That's why I'm keeping them from seeing Dad.
Surely they can't just barge in.
They're Charduni clergy, and we are in Calastia.
We're in Skitsky.
That's why I'm asking what the law is.
We're part of the hegemony, but we're not part of their
because
country.
They're Charduni, and we're in Calastia.
We're in the hegemony,
so
but not
we
in
need
Calastia.
So
that, I assure you that makes no difference to them.
You wait. these assholes won't obey the law?
No, what I'm saying is that they're Charduni clergy, and we're operating under Calastian rule. If they feel it is necessary for them to come in this domicile, they may do so, as is their right.
Okay,
She's saying
that's what
they
I was
will
asking.
conveniently interpret the law.
Yeah.
I am the law.
I'm mumbling something under my breath about this Kiskian independence and why it's really important.
Millie's just like,
Not out loud, kid.
Well,
My stomach's just growling, and I'm still holding the food.
Put it on the table.
Aaron says, well, like Viva la Resistance and all that, but I don't think we can undo the government in the next day or two.
No.
All right, so
Sounds like a challenge.
So what we're gonna do, Korggix, you and me, we're gonna go into town, and you're gonna give food to your new boss, and
and order our cages.
Didn't we already? Oh, and order more cages. In the meantime, I'm gonna spend some time. I'm gonna pick up some healing unguent, some knockout juice for those fucking rats, because I think that's just a good idea generally. And I'm gonna ask around a little bit about people who ship small animals and don't ask questions and some other stuff like that, and basically seed some rumors.
Maybe stop by the Weavers and pick up.
Cages, if possible.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe stop by the Weavers and pick up like an Afghan. Maybe something with like a red and gold pattern, something kind of festive, just that we can put over your father while we.
Sure, he'll love that. Yeah, won't you, Dad?
So,
okay, we'll do that.
What if someone comes in the room, they just see a pile of cloth?
Well, it's better than seeing a halfling with
a guy with hooks in him standing over a door in horror. Yeah, I agree with Aaron.
Well,
what if we move the bookshelf
in the middle of the room?
Yeah.
Sure. We do that.
I mean, he did just move in.
Yeah, it could be still unpacked, or just piles of boxes that aren't unpacked that
we could
already
move.
Unpacked that we can repack.
If we move the bed over to this side of the room and make a false wall of bookshelves here, we can probably.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
As this is being discussed, my shoulders just start slumping. Because that means I have to move heavy shit again.
I think so.
No, Gix, this is not you. You and me are going into town. But not. You guys are the Rat Patrol. You guys get to move the bookshelves. Korggix has been a good boy, and we're going into town to get food to his boss.
Okay.
Come on, Gix. Package up your stuff. Let's get ready to go.
Okay.
Do I take the meat with me? Isn't this for us?
Some of it's for us. Some of it's for your boss. Remember, you promised.
All right, so I reach down into the bucket and I just start putting meat on the floor.
Just put it on the table. Stop. Table.
I don't think the rats are going to care where it was.
Okay, that can be fed to the rats. The rest, just put it on the table. Dumbass.
I'm actually going to step next door and see if they have any rodent traps, because obviously this is an issue here. Perhaps some of the farmers and ranchers have traps of their own we can borrow.
Yeah.
To store your rats, but also this will help us to
create the story.
Yes.
I somehow doubt they have live
traps.
Yeah, probably not.
But asking about isn't going to hurt our story.
Yeah.
We need live traps for the rats?
Yeah, they're like mimics, but
well, I mean, what goes in the traps?
Don't worry about it. Just don't worry about it.
Well, do we need food for the traps?
We don't.
I'll get some more while I'm over there.
Okay.
Just
all right. So
just go with Jedryn. Stop putting me.
I just want to be helpful, man.
So Korggix and Jedryn are heading to the north. Zopa,
we were
you're
getting our
heading.
hands on a headband of intellect. I'm just putting it on him.
Zopa, you're heading
if you
to
think
the
this
neighbor?
is bad, you should see the Hall Legionnaire I play.
Zopa,
Yeah.
before you leave, I take Zopa's hand in mine and I look up at her and I say, "Don't die today, okay?" And I,
Is this something you say often? I feel like
yes.
it might be. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
I pat you and I say, no, not today. You either.
Okay. I nod. So I do the life share thing, so you have advantage on death saves until a long rest.
Thank you.
Nice.
2 per short rest. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Is that barbecue still going on?
The barbecue is still going on. As you're walking over, you see Enrique kind of walking out of the backyard, looking all dejected. God.
Mr. Copperfield.
Mr. Copperfield's my dad. What do you want?
I knew you were going to do that.
Right? Mr. Copperfield Jr.? I'm not sure what you're...
My name is Enrique.
Enrique. Mr. Enrique. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm just like super annoyed. My dad wants me to take this plate of food down to the stupid keep.
Is it for the clergy that are staying there?
Yeah.
Oh, I would be happy to take it to them.
Would you? That'd be great. He hands you the
would.
plate. He just starts like walking away.
Wait, Mr. Enrique, I have a question for you.
God, what?
Do you happen to have any traps for those pesky rodents that ate your cow?
No, if we had traps for those pesky rodents, they wouldn't have eaten our cow.
That makes sense. Do you know of anyone in the area that does?
They're like flesh strippers, man. You don't just like trap for them. I mean, we got some mouse traps, and I think
that's probably too small. We had a small infestation at the house as well.
Small.
I think if you go down to the Baker farm, they might have some stuff.
Is that on the way to the keep?
God, yeah, it's the one that's like right across from the All Faith Shrine. Jesus.
Thank you. I thank you and enjoy your day. And she's gonna walk off and
whatever.
Every like few steps, she's gonna be like.
No wonder your dad hates.
So you're just hocking in the beef, huh?
Mm-hmm.
One had a teenage kid at one point.
Is that movie with Dane Cook in it called Shenanigans or something?
Waiting.
Yes. Yes. That's all I can picture that you're doing the whole way.
All right, while you're making your way down there, anything going on back in the house at this point?
Moving furniture around.
Yep.
All right. You move the furniture. So the downside of this plan is that you have to basically slide a bookshelf out of the way to get back there with Dad. So is anyone going to be on Dad watch duty while you're waiting before you go back down?
Let's see.
I will.
You're probably the strongest. We need you moving the furniture.
Yeah.
He's also the most fucked up.
So.
Also
True.
Aaron says, I can help with furniture. It's fine.
Yeah, okay.
She's got a strong back.
I have an average strength.
I have a negative strength. So.
I have a strength of 10, so just don't ask me to lie, ever.
All right. Anything else going on back there?
Yeah.
Yeah, moving the furniture, hiding Dad behind bookshelves and blankets and whatever, finding containers for rats, feeding them when they wake up, and hoping that they'll be quiet. And I think that's a lot. I think that's busy. So, yeah.
Okay. Korggix and Jedryn, are you doing anything particular on your way out of town, or are you just making your way up to the actual village proper?
No, I think just getting.
I'll get back to you all momentarily. So Zopa, you make your way to the. Are you heading straight to the keep?
Sure.
Or were you stopping at the Baker Farm first.
I'll stop there on the way back, so I'm not just carrying around like a plate of meat.
Plate of spitty meat.
Right.
All right. All right. You make your way to the keep. The doors are sealed.
Is there a bell to pull and ring, or
yeah? There's like a rope you can.
Sure.
Ding
Jangle,
dong,
jangle, jangle.
ding dong, ding dong, ding dong.
Ooh. Quite elaborate.
The dwarven monk answers the door.
Oh, hello again. The Copperfields, have sent you, meat.
Wonderful.
Is there anything else that you need?
He grabs it and just grabs a big old hunk of it off the top and just starts chowing it down. You see your spittle sort of mixing and running out of the side of his mouth. It's really just wretched.
Oh, my Freud is Chardonnay.
Is it good?
Taste. I haven't had meat that tasted like this since last time. Since last time I was in Shelzar.
Wow.
Excellent.
Anything else?
I'll just hand over the plate to him. Enjoy your meat.
Will do. He closes the door. Go ahead and give me a perception check if you don't mind.
7, because the dice are being our friends today.
Nothing unusual.
I was too busy, the tears are building up in my eyes from not laughing.
Right. So then you head over to the baker's?
Sure.
All right, you knock on the door and guy answers it. Heinrich. Human, looks like he's maybe in his late 40s.
Are you Mr. Baker?
That's me.
I was told to come down here. Perhaps you have traps for the little flesh-eating rodents that seem to be infesting this area. We had an outbreak at our house. Oh, I'm Zopa, by the way.
Heinrich, it's nice to meet you.
My father moved in just up the way.
You're Khaled's kid. You don't much look like him.
It's true. We've heard that before.
I suppose you probably have. You mean flesh strippers?
I suppose that's what they're called. That does make sense.
I mean, we got some mouse traps. I don't know how much good they'd do.
That seems awfully small, wouldn't you say?
Well, I mean, they're the same size. Just, one has horrible, sharp...
Huge, nasty teeth.
Huge.
Oh, they're only mouse size?
That's why they're swarm.
Look at the bones.
Why they're always fighting a swarm, not an individual.
I was thinking rats.
No, they're tiny little cute engines of destruction, yeah.
Engines of destruction, right?
But when 20 of them are eating off your foot.
Ow.
But you can't feel it, so you're just like, how cute!
If you pass your save, you can feel it.
Yeah.
Can you just choose not to?
Oh, this is good though. This means smaller cages.
Yes.
He shouts over his shoulder, Tilda, bring me some traps. Maybe the ones we're using for raccoon. And his wife comes walking out. She looks kind of like if you mixed... imagine the wife from the American Gothic painting by way of the Defense Against Dark Arts teacher from any given season of Harry Potter. And that's kind of the vibe that his wife gives off.
Definitely
she walks,
very happy.
Right.
As she walks over, she's got her dress goes to her wrists. Yeah. It's like a collar that comes up to here. ankle length, wearing what just cannot be comfortable, like brown hiking boots. And it's just like this. It's very much cuts like a Amish silhouette kind of in her appearance. She walks over carrying basically like a basket that's been filled with what look like tiny bear traps.
Fair enough. I nod and even bow into the nod a little bit for her. Thank you, Mrs. Baker.
Does the same, but looks kind of confused. And she says, "That's 10 gold worth of our tools you're loaning out." And Heinrich says, "That's just neighborly. They'll return them."
Perhaps we could do a service for you in exchange.
Well, that back planting patch could stand being weeded.
I know just the person for this job.
I
shall send him your way shortly.
Offered 2 silver to that worthless Copperfield boy.
Yes, he doesn't seem to wish to really do anything, does he?
How old is he?
He's had some rough times with his old man. Knowing his old man, I don't blame him.
You mean Mr. Copperfield?
Yes. Don't trust that fella.
Why not?
Nah, he's into all sorts of hocus pocus garbage.
Adriel worship and the like.
Right. Since I'm not from here, is there any way to try and guess what he means by hocus pocus?
You can make a history check if you'd like.
9.
You do know that there are some folk, particularly in rural communities, that take a somewhat dim view of arcane spellcasters.
Gotcha.
You know, kind of the idea that, almost that the prejudice is almost that Belsameth's association with magic kind of makes them all sort of evil witchy poos.
Yep.
Oh, silly witchy poos.
Yeah.
So I will keep my eye out for him or on him.
You definitely should make sure your pa seems like a nice enough fella. So make sure that keeping him safe from dark influences.
We are doing our best. Right. She bows slightly and begins walking away. Thank you. I'll send one of my brothers down for your seeding job. Weeding. Your weeding job.
That too.
I don't think that one's any swifter than the Copperfield boy, you hear.
How old is the Copperfield boy?
Indeterminate, but at least in his 20s.
Oh God, he's actually older than I am. Oh jeez.
Yeah, he looks like he's at least in his 20s.
Does he live in their basement and play D&D?
He lives in their basement, plays businesses and bureaucrats. Whilst all this is going on, Zopa, you return with the traps. It's very clear
that them down on the table.
They're probably not horrendously useful. I mean, they're literally like snap traps.
Yeah,
that are sized
more for
down.
the illusion we're trying to spin here.
Sure,
than anything.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
So I just drop them down by the table.
Cling clang.
We can put them on top of the water trough that we're putting.
Aaron says, "Well, if you all think you'll be safe enough, I would like to go and rest, pray, get my spells together so that we can descend back down here. I just don't know what we're going to do about keeping the Charduni distracted while we do."
I want to give her a hug to thank her for all her help.
She Pats you on the top of your head.
Thank you so much.
Least I can do. Happy to be of service. I wonder if I might glue the door shut before we go back down. For the keep. Got some sovereign glue, don't ask. Thought I would... that might slow them down if they were to try to come.
That'd be interesting.
Should you do that, or should one of us do
Let's
that?
do that.
Not you and...
If one of you do it, it's a citizen acting out. If I do it, it's a sacrament. She walks out.
Quote of the game.
Denif, help you on your way, ma'am.
So,
I'm hoping Keely gives you some luck.
you're all kind of getting yourselves situated to rest and enjoy your meal and lick your wounds and whatnot.
Yep.
Korg and Jedryn, as you're making your way along the country road, you come by that place where you saw the slave labor working before. Only as you're passing this time, you see the slaves are not working in the fields. You do see what appears to be 3 human adults, looks like probably a couple that are in their 50s, maybe. And you recognize the other human is the overseer that you saw as you passed last time. But all 3 of them are flayed and crucified at the edge of the field.
Well, that happened quickly.
That's
And
not good.
do we have any idea? I'm trying to remember. I'm afraid I've lost a little bit of the details. Is there anything that they could have done that would, in any reasonable way, justify that event transpiring?
Make a religion or history check, whichever is better for you.
Neither.
I hit 13 on my religion.
Nice.
What crime justifies that punishment?
I got a 7 on my history.
Jedryn, you're not sure what the fuck would have brought that on, but Korggix, you remember from time that you spent serving a master who was a worshiper of Chardoon. The crime of abuse of a slave can result in death by crucifixion. So what constitutes abuse of a slave is pretty hardcore stuff. They would have to be like the letter of the law involves things such as like denying meal breaks and there's a lengthy sort of series of commandments of like the way you're supposed to treat your slaves if you're a Chardoon worshiper, but those are just like mistreatment is something that you get chastised for and told not to do and assigned a penance. Abuse comes to where you're like inflicting permanent harm on them, violating the sanctity of their souls, consent as opposed to their labor's consent, things along those lines. So it's pretty extreme shit.
So they're dead, right?
Quite. Yeah.
Okay. So where are the slaves?
They're not in the fields.
Korggix sees that, understands that, and is dropped the meat and is running like full bore, ready to like slam through the front door of the estate.
Okay. So
Korggix, use your words, buddy.
So you're like rushing the farmhouse, basically?
Yeah, because I'm worried that they just left the slaves inside, or that the slaves were taken.
What's such a dead?
Because knowing the the damage that would have had to have been dealt to a slave in order for this to have happened. I'm worried that if the slaves aren't useful to whoever came and did this to the owners, they just left the slaves there.
That's a fair concern.
Yeah.
It's a hot day out. The windows are closed.
Jesus.
It shouldn't be funny.
And yet most of you laugh.
Funny. This is not funny.
May I remind you, the special hell.
Right.
Yeah. These three people are going to Chardoon for a very long time in a very bad place.
Forgive me, my astral tabletop is
Your thing?
Being pushed
yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, hey. It just got super big.
If this topic gets too sensitive. we can
Yeah,
start any
yeah.
of it.
Feel free. Remember X cards, folks.
Yeah, you have those.
Yeah.
What the heck, man? I just straight up blew up my astral tabletop.
That's fun.
So I apologize.
So look at the pretty mountain with the coastline that's not on fire. Yay!
Is it obvious that I'm a Mac user?
Yeah.
You're a Mac.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the. I don't remember what mountain range they're named after now, but that's the background that comes with it. Oh, while I'm fixing Astral, though, you're running up to the door and you're calling. Jedryn's calling after Korggix, but are you doing anything
I'm
besides?
very definitely keeping up with him. And I've sort of low key got my hand, underneath my coat so that it's right where my rapier is, in case.
That's fair.
I'm assuming he's got a good reason for doing what he's doing because he doesn't, he's not an idiot.
Yeah, he knows better than to fuck with the Charduni.
Yeah. So whatever this is, it must be important and it's probably bad, but I'm just trying to get the information.
So as you come barreling up toward the door, I assume you're not expending a whole lot of effort to be quiet, for example.
No.
Okay. Front door opens. Human steps out, dressed as a farmer. If you want to go ahead and give me just a straight up, I guess, perception. See if you recognize them or have seen them before or noticed anything about them.
13.
Excellent. Yeah, you do recognize them as one of the workers that you saw in the field of the farm across the way and up the road a little bit closer to the village. One of the people that you pegged as free workers.
Are they?
They step out onto the porch and say, "Whoa, whoa, whoa! You okay?"
And I'll just point at where they're crucified at.
He says, "Yeah. The priests came over and got us from my farm and explained that they had witnessed something that necessitated the removal of our neighbor's property. So they then bequeathed that property onto us. So I'm just over here trying to help figure out what the hell's going on, I guess."
See.
Where are the slaves?
They're in the house.
Are they okay?
Physically, most of them are.
If you need help with anything, we're Khalid Glassblower's kids, and we got a variety of different experiences. And congrats on the new property.
Yeah, not so much. I don't know what I'm supposed to do here. First we need to make sure we get just medical care for everybody, but I got to figure out how to either sell them their freedom or write them
when
off.
Korggix hears that, he cuts him off and goes, "What would that take?"
This is, it would take basically somebody explaining to me how it works. I mean, I don't normally talk too much about this, but I'm, fourth generation Zathis. I'm not too fond of the colonizers.
Yeah, Korggix is just going to say rather firmly, we will take care of the slaves if you give them to us now, if they're able to leave now. And it won't be your problem anymore.
I kind of put my hand on his arm and say, my brother feels real strongly about this stuff. He's had experiences. We have some business in town. I trust you to see to these folks. Preacher Erin is down at my father's. No, I think she actually went home. So she should be at the All Faiths Shrine. If you need healing, if you want, I can bring back some salves and herbals and so forth from town. That was kind of what I was planning to do anyway. But we'd very much like to help with this if we can.
That'd be good. I need some sort of a disinfectant. If there's a midwife in the town that could maybe come and check out one of the slaves, that would be
okay.
That would be appreciated.
I'll ask the midwife in town. You might want to send somebody down to the All Faiths to see if Pastor Aaron has anything, or can at least get something ready for tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll send one of my boys down.
Does
there.
Korggix pick up that it could be a kid that's also in trouble?
I mean, they're asking for a midwife. You can extrapolate from that what you would extrapolate from that.
Right. So Korggix no longer wants to leave.
Right on.
Okay.
Because they were taken as a kid. So whatever could have happened here, he just doesn't. It doesn't sit right with him in his past to even remotely let anything else poor happen. He'd feel a lot better if he was here.
Now, I fail my insight and try to walk off with you, and realize very quickly that, whoa, okay, you're staying here, huh, brother?
Yeah, I just nod.
Okay. Do what you got to do. Give me the meat, and I'll go, because I got to get into town anyway to see about finding a midwife.
And I take out of my backpack the teeth for payment for him, because it's still not the next day yet, so he's not expecting us back yet.
Yeah.
So he should just be like, oh, whatever. So I feel like he should be okay with that. But
I'll fill him in on what I can. I'll make excuses for you.
And
the farmer says, well, listen, if you're going to the north, they told me, well, the girl who's hurt told me that the whole thing that kicked all this off was there's a friend of hers, I guess a caller that she was seeing that her master didn't know about. Orc fella, might be on the run, might be up that way.
In town?
He might have taken off up that way. I don't know for sure, but
okay.
If you come across somebody that's, I don't know, orcish, maybe mildly wounded, looked panicked.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
I asked the farmer if he's here alone, or is just him.
All my people are over at my farm working. I was the only one that could be spared.
This might be intrusive, but do you mind sending somebody back to our home to send somebody potentially quicker to get here to look at healing or to help ease any pain or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, I can. Some of the folks in here are also healthy and fine and able to move. Yeah. So I don't have any objection with sending them. I just don't know if they'll be safe going down there without papers or whatnot. Again, I'm not too fond of this whole process, so I don't know much about it.
What if you went and I stayed?
I mean, no offense, but I don't know you.
Yeah.
He just...
Korggix, you stay on top of this here.
He's getting, like, the idea turning in his head that maybe I should lightly suggest that the farmer go before I help him go.
Korggix,
you
buddy.
can kind of, like, pick up that body language.
Yeah, buddy. These people need to be safe more than they need immediate help. I'm going to hurry, and we're going to get this done, okay? But we have to do everything in its time. All right? You stay here, and you keep them safe. All right?
I just stay in their tents.
My people have to get the field cleared before sunset. If we don't get that back field cleared before sunset, we're going to have a real problem with the crop. I can send I can send one of their laborers here, but again, I just don't know if they got...
Send one there, and I'll take their place.
What do I know about the? I'm guessing based on my past that I know a thing or two about the laws around travel papers and so forth.
Yeah, basically, as long as people use slaves for errands all the time. Mm-hmm. As long as they have a writ from their legal owner, they can travel freely.
Yeah, right. I'll totally take their spot. That's fine. As long as I can see the house still, I will take their spot, and you can send one. No problem.
I grab a. I don't know if I actually have parchment, but do you have a scrap of parchment, sir?
I think there's some in this house here. Come on in.
Yeah. Let's go find an office.
Both of you come in and let me get you some refreshment at least.
No.
Let's super not comfortable going in.
Let's
As Korggix the player, not as me. He doesn't want to go in there and just freak the fuck out. So Korggix will be in a field mutilating a corpse.
Yeah. It's all right. You stay here and keep them safe, buddy. I'm going to write up something so that I'm going to write up a messenger writ for one of his slaves so that they can go down to our place and send somebody back to help you out. Okay, buddy?
Yep. I just nod.
All right. You going to be okay? We got this.
Less of a nod.
Take him by the shoulders, look him right in the eye, and say, "You did the right thing." Okay. You did the right thing.
He just laughs and says, "I'm gonna get arrested one day." I
kind of scratch at a chain mark on my neck that you can't really see anymore, and kind of go, "It's not that bad." All right, and I go inside. We find some parchment. I quickly write out this is a writ by Farmer. What was your name again? Okay, Farmer Elmsmith to authorizing this slave named, what's your name? Roberth.
And as you're walking in, you notice a couple things. One, there's about 20 halflings stuffed into this farmhouse. You see...
Good thing I didn't bring them home.
A series of... one of them is kind of laying basically on what appears to be a pile of hay. And she's got a blanket over her. Blanket's just saturated with blood. And you see like hedge trimmers and forceps and various other sort of farm implements that are also just smeared with blood.
Yeah. The that tense posture that Korggix had before?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. You can hear the sound of her chewing her own teeth. All right, let's get this done with quick. I'm
make an insight check real quick, by the way.
That would be 5 again.
Yep, you're too overwhelmed with your own shit to notice what's going on with anybody else.
Yeah.
They walk you over to the desk and give you the paperwork to write it up.
Yep. Scribble, scribble, scribble. Signed this day of under penalty return. What was the address? This here. No action to be taken other than return to me. There we go. All right. You give this to your man or woman and send him to our house. Tell him to ask for help. Tell him to explain the situation. I'll be back with folks from town as quickly as I can.
He nods and says, thank you.
You're very welcome. You're doing a good thing here.
I can't get my power supply.
He nods and says, I'm just trying to do my best. I feel terrible for that poor girl.
Yeah. I'll be back as quick as I can. And I'm sprinting.
When Korggix is outside, does he hear like any crying or anything like that? He doesn't hear anything weird. Like it's all calmed down so far. Yeah,
there's not any like active looks. By the look of it, based on what you walked into and how long those corpses had been hanging or whatever, looks like the hustle and bustle of the situation was probably about 2 hours ago. Which would have been probably about the time that the Charduni priests were walking by.
Right. Yep. I'm just hanging out, getting ready to take that guy's spot.
Right on. And
are they also halflings?
Yeah, they're all halflings. I'm sorry, the farmer is human. But
right.
all the slaves in the property
is he going, or am I taking the spot of a slave so the slave can go?
He's sending a slave because he has the paperwork.
Yeah,
so neither one of you has to leave.
Yeah, no. You were what I think Korggix was suggesting was sending one of the farmer's farm hands to go down, and what we've done is set it up so that one of the slaves from this house can go down. So Korggix can stay here and watch over the slaves and with the farmer.
Yep. I just wanted to make sure that was what was happening, or if I was in the field. So I guess when I see that guy leave, I'll just like hang out. I'm going to slowly, like, as he's hanging out though, you notice, or like, I guess just for storytelling, that like I'm slowly building up the courage to like try and peek into the window. Like over time, I'm like getting closer and closer. So,
and the farmer does come out and just sit on the porch by Korggix, basically. And I assume you're not being terribly subtle about trying to peek in.
No, I will when he does come out and just be like, thanks.
He says, you don't need to look in there if you don't want to. There's no reason to carry that around with you.
I just ignore it. Like it's gnawing away at me. Like one of those situations, like once this is resolved, I'll never really know. Is it bad? Am I needed? Like, do I need to go in there and fucking drop somebody? Like,
right. Do you eventually break down and look inside?
Yep.
So yeah, when you do, like I said, there's about 20 halflings in there. One of them laying there on her back under a bloody sheet. There's a couple of halflings that are sort of like, one's like sitting behind her, letting her be propped up. One's holding her hand. They look older, like maybe they're her parents. And yeah, she just looks. She does not look like she is in immediate mortal peril. Definitely looks uncomfortable. Definitely looks like she's been through an ordeal. But she does not appear to be, other than possibly bleeding out, doesn't appear to be in a.
There's nothing I could really do for that.
She's not like screaming, and she's not. You know what I mean? Like it's not an act of distress.
Right. And everybody else looks cool. Like,
I mean, yeah,
as much as they can.
Right.
Be anyway.
Yeah. Physically, they all look okay.
Okay.
Farmer says, "Damnedest thing. I'm out in the field, and I see these priests come walking up from the village, and that I guess he was the overseer, coming running out of this farm, shouting for help. And it sounded like he thought that those priests were going to help him finish whatever it was he was doing. Didn't hear much after that except for a lot of screaming.
There's 3 bodies in the field, right? The overseer and then 2 of the owners?
Yep.
Does that click in any way with me? Like, give me any sort of idea of what actually happened here? Or?
You can make a investigation check, I guess would be the best.
Investigation. Nice. This should be good. 8. So probably not.
Right. Yeah, I mean, something was obviously wrong when the overseer went to ask for help from the priests.
I look at the farmer and I just go, I wonder why the priests were here to begin with. Do they normally, like, just walk down the road?
It seems as though they happened by. I didn't chat with them much when they came over and told me what was going on. All they told me was that the owner tried to perform a medical procedure on one of his slaves that he had no business doing.
Ooh. Well, I just put 3 and 3 together. Ew.
Yeah.
Owner was a human, slave was a halfling. That is wrong.
Yeah. And there's also like, I guess Korggix is starting to kind of figure it out, but he just kind of goes, but what about the orc? There's an orc?
Yeah, near as I can tell, this orc has been making his way over here, visiting the slave quarters at night, and I think the orc was maybe the father.
Oh.
And when he says was, Korggix just kind of shrinks. Well, and then he starts thinking about the 2 priests that he passed on the way here. And he kind of wants to go ask them questions, but he has to wait now. So he's just sitting and waiting for Jedryn to get back.
And you sit and you wait. Jedryn, you continue your voyage to the village proper. Sun's starting to go down.
Sorry. Yeah.
Sun's starting to go down as you arrive. Did you have a question or something?
No. Oh, I was just saying I'm running as fast as I can, which, halfling. But rogue, which means every round I can take a dash action.
True.
Right.
So you can triple move.
You are still pretty fast. Yeah, you make your way up into the village and over to Korggix boss's place, to Carolyn's place.
Actually, first I'm going to the midwife.
Oh, okay. Do you know? Are you going to go to the Charduni temple, or are you going to go to?
I'm gonna. Yeah, that's right. I wouldn't know who the midwife is. Probably accost the first person that I come across on the street who looks, like not a drunkard or deadbeat. Do you know where the town midwife is? I need their services kind of urgent.
I know where the town nunnery is.
Is that who you guys use for midwives?
I mean, I'm sure they probably know a thing or two about it.
Okay. Can you point me?
Yep, right up here over on the north side.
Awesome. Thank you.
You shoot over there, and As soon as you roll up, you see a symbol carved onto the door. Go ahead and roll religion.
One thing I'm good
6.
Yep, you're like, I don't know. Some god, and you fling the door open.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So many of them, how can you keep track? You fling the door open, and 3 women and 1 man come out from the back. They're all dressed in very scantily clad, sort of silken robes.
Blink, blink.
Maps.
Are any of you trained midwives?
The guy smirks and says, "Well, I have some practice, but I wouldn't necessarily say I'm trained."
Are you any? Yeah. Where's my stuff? Are you any good at it?
Once again, Korggix
Someone's life may be at stake.
Very happy he didn't come.
One of the women steps forward. She's got black hair, deep brown eyes that are almost black, pale white skin, blood red lips, and she says, "I've got some experience. What's the issue? You have someone giving birth?"
You're, well, something like that. You're rather urgently needed down at the Dunshire farm. There's been an incident with one of the slaves. I don't exactly know the details, but she's badly injured and bleeding, and it's a midwife situation.
I see. My mistress would require some sort of, just a small token for my time. She holds out, she reaches over and grabs a cup.
How small?
Whatever you feel is appropriate.
Gods.
She gave you 40 gold teeth, by the way.
Okay.
Might be a bit odd, but you know.
Yeah. No, I drop a gold coin in.
Beautiful. She sets it down. I guess hold down the fort till I get back. And she turns and starts to walk out.
All right.
She goes around to the side, and you see this adjacent building is actually a stable. And she goes in and hops on a horse.
All right. Thanks. Are you, well, presumably she's going to bring some herbals and so forth with her.
I mean, the horse she hopped on and rode off with had what appeared to be loaded saddlebags on it. So
okay. Yeah.
You're assuming she had the sense to put whatever she was going to need in them.
Yep. Okay. All right. Well, then I guess I'm off to go find Korggix's boss.
You step over to Carmen's shop, and he's just sort of letting the forges wind down for the day, basically.
Yep.
He's sitting there smoking a pipe on the stoop.
Oh, excuse me.
You're Korggix's sister, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. He's been
family resemblance.
Thank you. Yeah. So it's been a day, but we promised you food. Here it is. And
smells it. Meat.
Yeah. And I've been asked to commission 3 more cages. If that gives you an idea of what kind of a day it's been.
That's a lot of flesh strippers.
It is. It is.
I
say kind of looking around me as if I'm worried something might be crawling up my pant leg.
Let me give you something. He gets up and goes and opens a cabinet, and you see him tap on a jar of turpentine, and he taps on some acid, and oh no, here it is, and he pulls out just a bottle that's got an X drawn on it, and he hands it to you. He goes, this is made with my grandnan's hooch recipe. She used to give it to me when I was little if I was fussy. But I think if you give this to those rats, probably take them right out.
Awesome.
If it's good enough for dwarf babies, it's good enough for you.
I appreciate the help very, very much. Korggix figured that reaches into his bag, or reaches into her bag and pulls out, I don't actually, a reasonable number of gold teeth. I don't actually have any idea what the rate is for, gold teeth to rat cage, but I'm pretty sure.
Hold on, I gotta check.
Number 2.
I have to check the stock exchange.
Yeah, exactly.
The Holocaust rate.
Yeah. Yep.
You pull out kind of a handful of gold teeth.
Yeah, and so they're guessing they're going to need about 3 more of those cages. Korggix was figuring since he liked the other teeth, chunk.
Nice. I get to have teeth and I get to get gold. That's a twofer.
Yeah.
All right,
like I said, it's been a day.
Sounds like it. You wanna sip of that hooch before you take off?
I need to be able to walk still. So, but I will take all of it in the spirit in which it was intended, and I'll send Korggix back up. I apologize if he's a little bit late tomorrow. There's a couple of things that he's got to take care of. I'll let him.
Or the next day.
It's no worries. Everything's fine.
All right. Thanks very much.
You be safe. Are you sure you don't need anything? You need a ride?
I don't want to put you out.
I've got nothing to do but watch this forge cool off. Which I am certain it'll do whether or not I'm sitting here.
You know where the Dunshire farm is? Yeah,
I think so.
If you could give me a ride down that way, that would definitely save my teeny little legs.
Yeah, that's fine. Chariot's a little bit crowded, but
I don't take up much space.
I think there's room for you. He goes around back and locks the front door up, comes back out. It's got a chariot that's drawn by 2 horses, and the chariot basically is like standing room. And you can see once you're inside of it and you sit on there's basically like an ammo box he tells you to sit on. And you can see that the reason he's saying it's crowded is because there's a pair of heavy crossbows that he can flip up from behind the wall of the chariot.
Gosh.
Accidentally started working for a badass. Got
it. Bro, is he old enough to have served in the war?
Just bandits are real rough around these parts.
Apparently.
They would have to be. Yeah.
And, okay. He starts taking you back down by chariot. So back in the house, is there any activity that you all are engaging in besides simply resting?
Moving the horse trough into a couple of buckets, emptying the horse trough, putting all the rats in the horse trough, putting the rat traps on top of it so they can't climb out, along with pots and pans and bricks to hold them down, just enough cracks between to get air through, and hoping that's good enough.
Don't
run around creating a shitty container.
Give them nesting materials, some enrichment items, food.
The meat, right?
You're feeding the rats better than you feed Korggix. Just
feed himself. I mean, ideally, we will take such good care of them, they won't want to escape.
That's true.
That's fair. As you're just sort of finishing getting the rats together, you hear a zapping sort of sound come from the hole into the basement.
Oh,
and because you're behind the cage, Cheshire, you're able to see it as well. A bunch of lights start flickering down the hole.
Sprinting.
There's a bug zapper down there.
Well, you look down and you see the spirit guardian that, or the guardian of faith that was cast there by Aaron. and it's like opening its mouth and laser beam light basically is shooting out of its mouth into what is near, like you can't quite tell, like if you really like hang your head upside down into the hole, you can see that it appears to be blasting its way through that gelatinous cube that has now made its way into the main.
Greedy.
Dun, 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 dun.
I'm gonna yell good form to my new buddy and rest a little more calmly now.
If it kills it, I need help.
Is there still like laser blasting?
I mean, it takes it about a minute to to whittle the thing down, and you have the smell. Like, imagine what Jello would smell like if it caught fire.
Wait, what flavor Jello?
What flavor Jello? Because
it's lime. Probably lime. It's horrid.
It would be like lime and sweat sock.
Oh yeah.
So like normal Jello. Then.
Yeah.
Got it.
Hope that doesn't act like a smelling sauce to wake up Dad, because I don't want him awake during any of this shit.
He doesn't seem to respond to it at all, even though like at one point when it gets particularly, like when the fight builds to a crescendo, there's like a strobe light effect on his face basically. But he doesn't seem to respond. His pupils don't even react to it.
Is it possible to help with like ranged weapons? Or is it just angles too
short of dropping down into the area? No.
Okay.
And the Guardian of Faith doesn't seem to be having any difficulties.
Okay.
And the cube has no way of getting out. So that's one less thing you'll have to contend with when you finally do make your way back down there, hopefully next session, because that's where I think we're going to wrap up game. So, any questions, comments, complaints, or concerns about today's session?
Horror level notched up a bit.
Bit.
I'm glad we weren't all there, because going to jail for murdering a bunch of people.
Murdering who?
Yeah.
I mean...
Yeah, it's totally fair, because you can't murder people twice.
I mean, if I would have failed that perception check on that farmer, we were in for a bad time.
Yeah.
They were getting eviscerated. So yeah.
Yep. So yeah.
Much fun.
Excellent. Cool.
I did an orc halfling couple in one of my games too. It's just kind of cute somehow.
It is kind of adorable. And you say ratchet up the horror, but really it's just the same subplot that was in Dirty Dancing.
You're right.
Travis,
not that I often peel back the
crucified in Dirty Dancing.
You're like, yeah, dude, Dirty Dancing, Coyote Ugly, let's go.
It was the horror was for the crucified assholes, but
Y'all need Corian, that's all I'm saying.
I'm just saying I had the time of my life, and I owed all to you.
I am a ginormous I do appreciate that.
Fran just reached
I think Fran just quit the game.
Sit through me wanting to watch Dirty Dancing, So.
That's fair. And the crucifixion is kind of like was it? The swan or whatever they called it? I don't remember. The big dance move at the end.
Yeah, well, no. Okay.
Not really. Not at all.
It's like almost identical.
Probably frame for frame identical,
Right?
if I had to guess.
Right. So that's the visual you should have.
So does that mean Patrick Swayze?
So one of the clerics is clearly Patrick Swayze, and he was just like lifting up and
I don't know what happened.
He did a little twirl.
But Patrick Swayze with modern technology as a Chardonnay dwarf, so it's like a 3'5" Patrick Swayze, who's bald and has a very long beard. Which means that the priestess is then obviously Jennifer Grey.
That's obviously it's the priestess's baby.
Well, I think we've gone too far today.
No.
thought my Cosby basement joke earlier today. We're not even in view of far.
Oh my goodness.
So on that note, let's go ahead and do our introductions. We'll start off with Jedryn, please. Give us your pertinence.
I am Fran Stewart. My pronouns are she, her, horrified. And I'm playing Jedryn, the disgruntled, barely holding it together, really needs a cup of coffee halfling. And when I'm not laughing my ass off at horribly inappropriate crap on here, I'm working on various properties for Scarred Lands, or various projects for Scarred Lands, including novels and modules and all kinds of exciting things. And you can find me most places as Fran or Francis Stewart, and you can find me on Twitter at Ronalyn Valor, and I love to make new friends, so show up and say hi.
Awesome, rock and roll. And next up we have Zopa. Please give us your pertinence.
Hey everybody, I'm Jeremy Hochhalter playing he/him, playing Zopa, she, her. I don't even know what to say after today, so we're going to go with, you can find me on Twitter at WHPubs, here on Twitch and Facebook at WH Publications. I also make stuff for Scarred Lands. Yeah, that's all I'm going to say today.
I'm sorry.
I mean, I love this session. It was great. It had everything.
I loved it. I just still need a nap.
Right. A nap.
I need to take a shower.
like a real crying game kind of shower,
right.
too. Like,
I'm not even taking my clothes off. Just going to sit in there.
I was thinking the Ace Ventura scene.
Right, yes. Which is a direct takeoff on the crying game scene. Neither of which of those movies have I ever seen all the way through, by the way. Fun fact.
But you've seen Dirty Dancing, so that's really the only one.
Well, yeah, of course I've seen Dirty Dancing. Let's not be silly. Sarah, please give us your pertinence.
Sarah Stewart. I wrote this thing with Fran. I'm she, they. I am playing Triss, the Druid, she, who's all about let's start a new business, doing weird things with flesh strippers, and being just kind of generally horrified by everything happening around them.
It's fair.
Free Zahiski, yeah, all for to start like marching in the streets with signs. All halfling lives matter.
It's valid.
Yes, it's valid. I know. Oh, this is so painful. Anyway, you can find me on Discord at KETINA 6065. That's the best place to find me. I have decided.
Excellent. You should totally post that in the chat because I will never remember it.
That I've been bouncing BT. Yeah, and I have titles on Drive-Thru, RPG, and Drive Predictions. So look them up. They're really awesome.
Sweet. And next up, that brings us to Cheshire. Please give us your pertinent details.
Hi, so I'm Chaz. Both I and Cheshire are he, him. And Cheshire is a Sutorenja who is trying to be supportive of his sister's new business venture, but is having lots of doubts for his own personal safety with that.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I research video games and music and stories and how they all work together to be fun things. And I'm also on Jeremy's channel, W Publications, on Twitch, on Wednesdays, where we do a Final Fantasy XIV inspired actual play. We've had a couple of setbacks due to like technical difficulties, but we are starting again this Wednesday.
And what time on Wednesdays is that?
3:30 Eastern. Yeah.
Sweet. Oops, I put in my address when I meant to put in Jeremy's. Not bad. It's WH Publications, right?
Yes.
Excellent. While I'm typing that in, Millie, give us your pertinence, please.
hello, I am Ayli, she, her pronouns, and I play Millie, the Tiefling Ranger, she, they pronouns, and also one half of the Flesh Stripper Breeding Program business venture. I am a fetish model. You can find me on Twitter at Kitty Curiosity. I'm also part of an X-rated D&D stream, and you can find us online at rollforseduction.com or on Twitter at rollseduction. Please only check me out if you're over the age of 18, though. Please.
Indeed, yes. Grown folks only.
Is it at the age of 18? Or at or over?
Yes.
Over, yeah.
Yes. Whatever is legal in your state or municipality.
Yes. Greater than or equal to.
That means the greedy guppy is going toward the bigger number.
One of those days, isn't it?
As I learned in 4th grade. Yes, definitely check out Roll for Seduction. Lots of cool games on there, including an Odysseys and Overlords game that I run on the second and fourth Wednesday.
Yeah, which is this Wednesday. Funny how that math works. So definitely come check that out if you're grown. If you're not, check it out later when you're grown. And then last but most certainly not least, Korggix. Give us your pertinence, please.
I'm the hair Tric, or just Tric. He, him, just as Korggix. Korggix is a 8-foot tall Scrag, which is a race that is exclusive to the Scarred Lands, and is in Yugman's Guide to Gelspad Part 1, I think. So if you're interested in playing
Part 2,
it's one of those. There's 9 of them planned, I think. But anywho, he is a giant sea creature and one task mind abandonment issue separation anxiety puppy.
That's a fairly accurate description.
So, yep, that's what I play. I am a variety streamer on Twitch. You can find me at twitch.tv, the hair Tric, with the wonderful pun in there, and same on Twitter, because Cosmic Core is great, and so are puns. If you're interested in level design, I'm the place to go to chat about it. I've been a level designer for about 15 years, Relic Entertainment, THQ, Sega after THQ went bankrupt and bought Relic, and I was part of some larger community projects for Doom 3 as a level designer. I use Twitch as a conversation starter. The game is just a backdrop, so I'm always interested in talking about level design or anything like that. And hopefully, let's hold on Friday, all the artwork for the Patreon thing that I've been writing that I sent to every single person here except for I think Ayli and Jeremy will hopefully finally be up and going. That was, I think the first thing that'll be on it was the Odysseys and Overlords one shot that I wrote for Travis.
Sweet.
So, yeah. So, stay tuned for that before I move in September, finally. Thank God.
Congratulations on the move, by the way.
God.
And I am Travis Legg, he, him pronouns. I'm the person responsible for this and other shit shows on this channel. I am also the programming coordinator for the Onyx Path Twitch. So if you're watching us from over on the Onyx Path channel, hi. Feel free to pop over in our chat and say hi once in a while. I am also the line developer for Scarred Lands. You can pick up the 5th edition resources for Scarred Lands at DriveThruRPG. Many of them are in print on demand and PDF, and some like Yugman's and Vigil Watch will be available in print on demand once the full collections are out, which should be by around the end of the year.
And then Vigil Watch is this week.
Yeah, Vigil Watch. This Wednesday will be the Iron Court, which I'm very excited about because it's literally the first chance to establish a lot of lore about Ironbred culture. They have all of about 2 pages of write-up and official material prior to the Iron Court coming out. So we'll get to see a lot of how their culture has evolved and is evolving, as it's still a fairly new venture as far as species and Skarn go.
Jeremy and I are planning to talk about that book on Friday as part of the Lore You Know at 1 o'clock Eastern.
That sound right? I don't know.
Definitely tune into that. It's
11 a.m. Pacific.
2 p.m. Eastern.
2 p.m. Eastern. I can't do that.
If I am able to be there, I will try to hop into the chat and hang out. Depends on how much is on fire. Speaking of things being on fire, you all did a wonderful job, and I put you through a bit of the ringer today. So you may all now increase your level. Congratulations.
Now I can kill with impunity.
Get another spell slot.
Yeah, I think one of you might have a choice to make, maybe.
I
don't know for sure. Actually.
At level 2?
So
get to learn to cast new spells.
I never remember like which class gets what at what level. I thought Druids got their circle at 2.
Yeah, you're right.
Do I get my ooh.
Exciting.
Can I get a tree? I want a tree.
Yeah, you can be. You can go Jordan if you want to. I have no objection to that.
I'll look it up. The trees are just freaking cool.
You can have You can have an awakened tree, but only if it is a singing bush, like in the Three Amigos.
Yes.
I don't know why I'm just super 80s cinema in my references today, but here you have it. Dirty Dancing.
That only happened when they were like tokes or something.
What?
I haven't seen the Three Amigos in like a billion years.
They had to go to the singing bush, where then they were supposed to fire their guns 3 times into the air to get the invisible swordsman to give them directions to El Wapos. But Chevy Chase fired his gun not into the air and directly into the invisible swordsman.
Good job.
Invisible swordsman.
On that bright and shiny note, that's where we'll wrap up Game for this week. We'll be back here same time next week for more shenanigans and probably some sadness. So everybody take care, wash your hands, stay socially distant.
Thanks for watching.
Bye, folks.
Bye.